Welcome back to the Spring Promotion Tournament. Team Imagine and Teammate are just about to face off in round 3, and the teams are tied 1-1. So, Apollo, we've had a lot of discussion about the importance of picks and bans. That's on the table. Yeah. We're aware of that. Now, what about in-game? What can these teams do in the game specifically to get themselves ahead, give themselves the advantage that's going to turn into a victory here in Game 3?
Yeah, it seemed pretty passive for the most part, like in the past few games, but then I guess like the importance of the mid lane we saw, like getting the early mid turret, I just feel like Golden Glue has been doing really well versus Main Cloud in particular, and that they can maybe abuse that a little bit more, have like more jungle or even support roams in the mid lane, just like get the early turret down or just get a gank. But Porpoise hasn't been doing too much just in terms of ganking, so I'd like to see that, just more like aggressive playstyle, I guess. And
when it comes to the bot lane as well, I feel like the bot lane, you've spoken to the passivity of the games in general. The bot lane, even more so than the rest of the lanes, has been ultra passive. So that, you know, almost as if that's a lane that can be ignored. And really looking at those two solo lanes for the junglers and supports to make appearances, get themselves the small advantages that'll end up winning those mid-game team fights.
Yeah, I mean, they're just doing they're doing their thing down there, right? They're just farming like, okay, we'll we'll be there for the team fight. We could maybe see some more dives, especially with the Shen. Like that's what our team likes to do that, right? Just like just get a Shen TP and then dive bot, or at least get the turret. So I think maybe we'll see that, but for the most part, I mean, I hope that they'll go for mid lane just to abuse that matchup more.
All right, so looking for some early game pressure from the junglers and the supports. We're going to pass it over to our casters, but first, Steelback explains the importance of every champ select when playing in a best of 5.
Well, you have the draft is really important in best of 5. Because I had this in MSI when I was against SKT, and they had like more experience, so they had like another draft that we didn't expect, and we just like got like destroyed because of it. So I think the draft is really important, and the mental state in best of 5.
Amazing how so many small things that we kind of talk about actually have that big of an impact on them. Just that little bit of being unsure that, oh, we thought we were running this poke Varus against something else. Will it work as good this time is what can throw you on tilt.
Yeah, we talk about a lot of these things because they do have a large impact on these players. And you can hear Steelback there in the rollout of the previous game hyping his team up, saying this is where we 3-1 them. It's a best of 5. It's one game. We can turn it around. So those little things, I feel like Steelback takes a lot of his cues in terms of leadership from Yellow Star. Having been under him for a little bit, being a little bit, honestly, I think he was more of a passive member of that team than he wanted to be. And now that he has more of a fresh start, he gets to step into a leadership role and give morale to the team.
He definitely seems like he has a lot to offer, and like you said, kind of being overshadowed by the big names and big players and kind of taking a backseat on Fnatic. Was also a reserved player, as you said, but we do see a bit of that life coming into play when he has the chance to make the first move himself. It can be there. Bans look to be the same, except for that Azir. We finally get the Birdman on the bench, and it does not look like he will get any playtime this game. The game plank, however, stays. Same bans from Imagine. They stay tried and true to those 3. Ooh. And the Thresh will still continuously see a ban for Baby on that. Too many plays. As a Thresh player, I can see it. Yeah. Gets people out of a lot of trouble. If we haven't seen Imagine really try to go for too much early game craziness here, and maybe it's because they're getting their Thresh taken away. Safety and big plays there.
Yeah, and then if they don't ban the Thresh, he picks it and he destroys them with it. We'll be up here saying, you should have banned Thresh.
You should have done it.
There's no right answer. But yeah, Evelynn is the thing that is left up here. But I don't know if they'll first pick Evelynn from Moon. That just feels...
Evelynn, you're right.
Yeah, it feels a little strange to first pick your jungler instead of getting your choice of Braum, Alistar.
Even if you were the jungler,
Shen, right?
You'd be like, no, that feels weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to pick it. Because Porpoise could just play Rek'Sai into me. Porpoise could play a lot of different things.
Priority, what do they take?
Oh, man. I feel like you take your support here.
Get the Alistar.
Or you go Lulu again, right?
Braum still
really?
Up. Olaf
really?
Gets taken.
All right.
The Braum stays alive as well as the Alistar. Dodo loves both. Dodo actually kind of not able to play the way he did in the beginning. You saw him on the Morgana picks, on other champions, more picks. Just, well, it would be Thresh, I guess, if you're going to be hooking. But everything changed for him, and now he's kind of forced to play the tanks and whatnot. Still does a good job at it, but you did see Dodo getting a lot of the plays for the team in the early part of the season.
Yeah, and now teammate will get their pick of what does Dodo want. Does he want the Braum? Does he want the Alistar? They'll most likely lock it in here alongside their jungler, which they've been doing a lot.
Whoa, low, low.
You look upset that you haven't been able to say that in a while.
Oh, it was so close in the ties game. But here we go. Alistar, Tristana picked up. Nien stays again on the Tristana.
So they save their jungler just because you can counterpick the Evelynn relatively well. There's the Evelynn. And the Lulu coming in. Once again, another composition focused around Chunky Fresh as a main damage dealer. And Team Imagine just seemed to like this Lulu a lot.
Definitely from what we've seen, like seeing ManCloud on damage. I like seeing any mid laner on damage. I feel like that's the guy that's going to be able to carry the game. This Olaf composition didn't really work for them. They had the Corki coming in on steal back, so we're reliant on that spike as well. See how they play it, though. Moon on the Eve. He has been banned away from it, so maybe he will be the one making the impact, and we're just looking at the wrong spots on this one.
It's true. Moon does play a carry Evelynn. He'll get the Rune Glaive, Abyssal Scepter build. He might even build the CDR item second, like a Morellonomicon. I know Freak wanted to see a Gnasher's Tooth on him at one point. He's just like, it's just better.
Just do it.
It's more expensive, but
just do it.
He goes for the Morellonomicon second fairly often. But Orianna there for Golden Glue. Orianna is a classic Golden Glue champion.
I like his Orianna play.
I remember back when he made the LCS as a substitute, we were like, okay, you know what? Play Orianna in your first game. Didn't have a great performance. Think he got a quadra kill in that game, though. It's funny to say he didn't have a great performance but got a quadra kill. But it was, hopefully the Shockwaves are on today. They need a little bit of that team fighting here because it's going to be a team fight composition for Team Imagine. They'll most likely run the Sivir again. It'll be a Ricky Bobby composition. They want to run it really fast.
Gotta go quick.
Get Chunky Fresh into that backline. And get to Nien. And if Nien gets Hyphy again with his rocket jumps and mispositions, that they're able to capitalize on it in an instant.
It looked good. The way he played it in those situations looked good, but he didn't realize that Alistar's Pulverize and whatnot was down, or I'm sorry, Elise's Cocoon, and then Shen's Taunt was down, and he saw all of his crowd control.
Or if there was an Olaf there.
running around him, but like you said, a little too heady with those, going in a little too strong. He's got the shield to protect him now, a little bit more there from the mid lane instead of a Victor.
Oh, and look at that. It's a Nautilus support for Baby, as opposed to going for the Braum and just having Alistar Braum over and over again. Goes for a champion that has a little more pick potential.
Vel'Koz love. Gotta give him the hover.
I mean, we did see a Vel'Koz mid from gate, right?
That's right. A little love the gate there.
But they already have their mid laner locked in. They're looking for a top laner here to go up against the Shen, go up against the Olaf. I assume it's a Shen. For Cali Trolls again. Man, Cali Trolls, I remember when he was coming into the LCS at Lone Star Clash 3, coming in. Like, all right, he's like, I'm gonna revolutionize top lane. I'm gonna play these crazy things. He was playing Kha'Zix, he was playing Diana top. He's playing Malphite top when nobody was touching it.
You know, Scarra never ate that hat from Lone Star when Boy locked in Nasus. Just wanted to let everybody remember that. Let's see what they get here for the last pick on
there
Team
you
8.
go,
It's going to be the Vlad.
There you go.
Wow. So locks it in. We figured this would have been something that Golden Glue would pull out, but I completely forgot the Cali Trolls carrying the top lane when he used to play Vladimir.
Oh, yeah.
Champions as such.
Top lane Fizz, top lane Vladimir were Cali Trolls' go-tos, and they were must-bans back in the day.
Yeah.
Now that they put him on Maokai and tanks and stuff like that, pretty much forgot about that. Back on that Vladimir, one of the champions he uses to climb the ladder very regularly. Team fight composition here for Team 8. Lots of magic damage, heavy magic damage here.
If you were going to try to carry your team back into the LCS and it was on your way out, why not do it on a carry champion? Cali Trolls switch off a bit of the tank here and put himself on a bit of the pain. Like you said, though, this composition does have a lot of ability power. Puts a little bit of focus on the end to get going as well.
And when you look at compositions and people don't run Vladimir, it's because Vladimir has trouble getting into a team fight. He has troubles engaging. But look at the enemy team comp. It's Sivir, Lulu, Evelynn, Olaf. They want to run at you. This team wants to run into you. So when you have Vladimir, you prey off of the other team's strength of starting the fight for you.
Call it the absorb comp.
Pretty much.
There you go. You just want to take the fight. Game 3 is about to go live, though, so update your picks over on Twitter. Hashtag IMG win or hashtag T8 win. You know where to send it at LOL Esports. And we are going to see who can break out, who can get the lead here and use that momentum. One game apiece here. Coming in for Team Imagine and Team 8 as we enter Game 3 of this best-of-5 promotion tournament. Who will gain a spot into the North American League Championship Series? Spring Split is a long way away, but they want to stamp their ticket here and solidify themselves a spot. We've already had one new team coming in, or I should say returning Wouldn't be new then. Coast back in after defeating enemy here, so maybe giving a little oomph to Imagine, saying it can be done.
Yeah, old team, new look.
Old neat, yeah, perfect.
But Imagine, though, some older members, but definitely some new players on the squad. Oh, the ceremonial mid lane dance. Smack each other around a little bit. We both have auto attack enhancers. Oh!
Clockwork wind up.
Gotta get them wards down. Gotta get that ward down. Fight him for the ward. Oh, top lane as well. And the junglers. Everybody just meeting up. 2x2 everywhere.
Gentleman's agreement. 5 swings, no face shots. And then you back off.
Not the face.
Not the face. It's all right.
At
Looks
least
like
they put
Chunky
that in
Fresh
there,
and
too.
Cali Trolls actually don't go at it this time. Even though Cali Trolls could actually heal everything that happens this time.
It actually, for Vladimir, takes a long time to get there. You have to
get
get
like
to 9,
one
right?
transfuse in.
Yeah, he'll get like 4 axes.
8 seconds
you'll
later.
You'll get 1 Q, and then you'll regret every
That's so
decision you
true.
made in this trade.
I didn't think of that. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, when you play against a Vladimir, you have to actually keep that in mind very early on, that he can't trade with you on a very consistent basis. Because that's where you exploit him. Because if you respect him as if he's already level 9 when he's level 2 and 3, then you lose the lane. You sacrifice the lane. You just cede it to him, and that's exactly what he wants.
It hurts. You just transfuse, follow up with an auto. If you let him keep doing that, that starts to add up a lot. Cali Trolls, he won't get that easy of a game this time, and we're going to have mirrored starts on both sides.
Yeah, there you go.
I really don't think I've seen this before. Usually someone's deviating a little bit, but nice.
Yes. Usually Porpoise is starting on the top side of the map. He started red both games, but now the question is, does Moon and Chunky Fresh, do they go over to the blue side and then they're disappointed? But they're going to see the lane swap here. Hopefully they key off of that it was a start on the bottom or on the right side of the map for Team 8, and then they just go over to the left side. So yeah, there they go. They're keyed off on that. They know it without the information via wards. And they get to go up to this lane here. And it's the 2-on-2, the first 2-on-2 of this series. You can see Imagine immediately pushing them out of lane.
Teleport up, pink ward for Cali Trolls. Just that real quick. We'll see how well he keeps himself secure in the top, and slowly letting this one push against Team 8. Steelback knows he wants to keep it in his favor as long as possible, so he's just holding it. 11-3 CS there, but you can see the wave building up. Nian has a bit to pick up as it reaches the turret. Might actually get some love towards the mid lane finally this game. Golden Glue has been aggressive on ManCloud, but now that Moon doesn't have to kind of keep track of one of those side lanes in a swap, he may be able to deliver some help to ManCloud early. And we will keep an eye on that. Cali Trolls using the transfuse to damage, auto attacks to CS, and he's getting a bit of a lead here on Chunky Fresh, but he's also gone consumables after waiting a bit.
Early pink ward.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something Cali Trolls used to do on top laners all the time. When you would go Kha'Zix, you would buy all consumables in a pink ward level 1, and then you would pink ward the Pixel Brush. Back before almost anybody did it. It was definitely a unique start.
I wonder.
Both?
They're kind of watching where that ping went, and then if Chunky Fresh went back and forth, now you'll get the pink ward placement. Actually, they feel that he didn't see it at all.
Oh, too far forward.
He did see it, and yeah, you're right, went way too far forward. That will be a flash blown, and great movement here by Moon. It does not look like that Porpoise is going to, however, bite into it. He does, slowly. So it's a combination of Chunky then missing CS in lane, having to get back. So a little ring around the rosy. Nobody getting a kill out of that one. Flash blown, however, that could be a repeat in that top lane on Chunky Fresh.
Yeah, when you don't have that flash, though, you don't have vision control inside of your river at all, Porpoise just gets to walk up again.
And he hasn't even used the pink. They are just continuously beating down
slow.
on this lane. He goes for the dive. Oh! Throws it too far forward. There's no more hits. Cali Trolls went into maybe an early Sanguine pool. But like you said, without 9, you usually don't get that many Qs anyway. So who knows? Very close anyways. And that is just hurting Chunky Fresh over and over. We were talking about, actually, that was the motive in the last game for Team 8 to keep going for Chunky Fresh. We thought it would be big because they didn't have the Lulu, but it didn't seem to affect him last game. He still got where he needed to be.
Yeah. But getting Cali Trolls ahead is definitely something that Team 8 used to thrive off of doing in the past.
That's the big part.
They brought on Nian, and Nian takes a lot of resources in the early game to get by, so you want to put pressure away from him sometimes. Yep. Sometimes you want to put pressure on his lane. In a lane swap, non-lane swap situation, it seems very different. I actually like getting Cali Trolls ahead, especially on this Vladimir. Even if it's not a successful gank, you still give him pressure and priority in the lane, so he just gets to push up over and over again.
ManCloud depleting the mana pool. Still has a few biscuits left. He should be good. 39 to 35 in that lane, so he's not doing it too bad. Not needing Moon. Not getting taken down by Porpoise, so this is going to be very good for them to come out of a even laning phase. See Moon going back as well. Pretty good clip around the jungle here. Looks like he could start putting a little pressure on the lanes as you already see Porpoise, or only I should say, see Porpoise finishing up his Grom.
Still no wards in the top lane. There's one for Chunky Fresh. Just that one. But Calitrolls has the lane near his turret. He gets to keep it here a little bit. It is a cannon minion wave, and he does have a little extra. There's one extra minion. Oh, and it gets... Oh, yeah. So Calitrolls gets to freeze it here for a little bit in front of his turret. CSing with axes is not the ideal scenario.
I was just going to say, you see that video recently. Don't CS with the AoE ability if your lane's pushing. There you go. There's an instance.
Well, that's really all he can do there, though.
True, at this point.
From a distance. He's looking for that one CS, and you got to hit at least 2 to do it.
He's got a deep ward down, but he does not know where the other ward is. The shield, it's not going to kill him right away, I don't believe.
Nope,
and that's going to be a little bit of dangerous game as well. Saving HP, ManCloud goes down.
Porpoise is there with the flash cocoon to pick up the kill. And ManCloud, the guy hit 6. He was good to go, but no mana.
Oh, yeah. I was watching the burn down on Golden Glue. Very close. No cigar, though.
Yeah, that cocoon saved him. He needed one more auto. Just any auto. Picks, throw one out there, help him out, help a brother out. Just throw one more.
So his teammate, though, very close to their average first blood. A little bit of love for Porpoise towards the mid lane. We said we'd get some of that now that the lanes are matched up here. So what can Team Imagine do to answer? Golden Glue starts getting a little going on his Orianna. Things could get dangerous.
Yeah, and they're playing not too much around Moon. Both the first game and the third game, where Moon has a champion that you'd like to see some early pressure from. He's kind of been dropping the ball on that. We do see him coming down to the bot lane now, hanging out in the wave. If Baby can get a hook, Baby can just walk up. There you go. Watch out for the CC of Dodo, though.
Oh, he would have gone down to that boomerang had he not pulled off to the right. Nicely done. Ignite gets expended from Baby. They lose a bit of kill pressure in the bottom, so it means safety for Dodo to kind of hang out with the team and soak this up.
That's still a relatively successful gank, though. When you get the support to half HP, loses lane pressure, he'll have to use his stacks. He does have the Triumphant Roar. I want to see how many points he actually put into that. He has 1 point into it. We've seen people max it before in very passive lanes.
It's good he's getting pushed in then.
But yeah.
Use it over and over.
He gets to come back to near full HP here. Spends a lot of his mana, but he's no worse for wear.
All 40 of it
he
each
didn't
time.
Get a summoner spell for that. Maybe he just got the heal.
Yeah, I think it was the heal to make sure they didn't die. They got the Ignite out of Baby, which obviously be up quite quick again.
Just trade 1 for 1 in summoner spells.
Much more reserved game. Kind of like the first. Not 3 deaths each time. Each team is much more risk-averse when they go in for the engages. Not as ready to throw all members in to make sure it works.
A reserved game does favor teammates' composition, though, with the Tristana, the Orianna, and the Vladimir. You're looking for team fights around Dragon mid-late game, whereas Imagine's composition, you are looking for those team fights, but you're looking for those more around the mid-game, but you're looking to start them on your own terms. So it's not so much a time thing, it's a conditional.
Right.
Can I get the fight? Can I get somebody when they're out of position? This looks like the first Dragons just go over to team 8. No problem here.
Wow. Great positioning for all of them as well. Knowledge of that by Moon means he's going to head into the jungle and start stealing some resources, but a push lane by Calitrolls. A few of that goes into the turret against Chunky Fresh. They pick up Dragon, and they have enough time to kind of take a breather and get back in the lane nicely.
I like how every member of Team 8 actually shoved up their lane.
Right, yeah.
Golden Glue shoved up, Nian shoved up, Calitrolls even shoved up just in case he had to get into that fight with the TP.
Yep.
Vax gets the Will of the Ancient there, so this Vladimir is online. He's also level 8. He'll be level 9 fairly shortly, and then you'll just have that low cooldown transfusion.
Finally have your 5th
it'll be a
point
nightmare.
Q.
Yeah, it'll be a nightmare.
So no pressure here from Moon. Ward actually just sees him as he was clearing a warded Tri-Brush. So he is known from that one as well. His Raptor buff actually is what procced it out on the minimap I saw. See what Kelly Trolls can do. Obviously letting it go to his turret. He's been farming at this spot the majority of the lane, so he's more than happy to keep this going.
Yeah, I don't know if he's even going to use his abilities to clear it. I think he's just going to keep caster minions.
Right.
And then just try to freeze the
Just
game.
kind of pull him up, pull him back.
Yeah, he's doing exactly that.
Ring
pulling
him
him
around.
up, pulling him back.
All right.
Cocoon to the wall.
Little bait. Ragnarok is on. They should be able to stay within range of this.
No ulti, so.
Yeah, he's going to have to flash over the wall.
Yeah, just trying to get a summoner spell out. Not going all in because he knew that he still had that up. So Cali Trolls, if Chunky Fresh walks up again and the lane is frozen, well,
yeah,
he's not going to get out alive.
That's something I really like to see in any type of gameplay. Is yeah, the kill is great, but just that knowledge of I don't have to go the extra inch. I have such an advantage out of what already happened. That's such a good mentality to know. And then they come back to lane and you pressure it even more. So Cali Trolls will be able to do that with the flash down once again. We'll see if he gets help from Porpoise towards that top lane. The CS there is even. The way they're playing it may pay off.
Yeah, it's shoving out though now because he ended up clearing a little too many other camps. Didn't leave any melees up. We'll talk about that in a second. Dodo still has all his abilities. Splash. Once again, it's just a camp near the bottom here for Moon.
Not much that Moon can do either. Anywhere he walks. I guess the pink ward, that's in the brush, but nice pink wards here by teammate. They're going to see him pretty much crossing anywhere in the river. There's one right there. Good check.
Yep.
Most walk
Nice.
by it. Definitely commendable there.
Oh man, Cali's almost got this turret already.
Goes from completely holding the lane to instantly pushing it. Porpoise is actually ready for that as well. Calling this together with those pink wards on the top side. They have all the room to make this happen, but it does not look like they want it. Good mind read by Chunky Fresh. He says, a little too quiet on the home front. I don't know where their jungler is. I'm going to back with this low health turret. So teammate pick up turret number 1 here in game 3. Dragon number 1 is also theirs. See if they can keep the momentum going. See the gold on the 80 carries right now, about 1,000 onto Nien. So he's got that critical cloak. It looks like he's rushing it even before he gets a pair of boots.
Still Vladimir split push dream is alive, but yeah, going for
That Infinity Edge. Just wants
the IE very quickly here.
Ooh. Hopefully he won't need any boots here.
Might see some TPs. There's the TP. Looking for the bot play here.
Baby,
Both TPs.
Baby takes the aggro with the depth charge from the turret. He might need to get out soon, and both TPs do come in. You can see the Cali Trolls holds his in the base as Team Imagine comes up very nicely on a bot tier engage. Something they've been receiving on the top side for the last 2 games.
Yeah, you just got both members of the bot lane with both their flashes are up and both their ultimates as well. Teammate could have held that off a little bit longer, but they pretty much just fell over there. They got run over by a Sivir, and now Steelback has an advantage in this bottom lane. Not enough mana on Golden Glue to actually deal with him, though.
Automana trying to hold him in place with Dissonance, so Cali Trolls could be the finisher there, but didn't come in time. Gonna play Cali Trolls for a bit of a fool here. Nobody's gonna die, but he's just gonna throw Glitter on him. Saw actually after
just
that.
As bad.
Yeah, actually it is. Just after that fight, instead of putting anything else like Critical Cloak in, the Avarice Blade and the Dagger for Steelback in between his build there.
We've actually seen Avarice Blade early for both these AD carries. They seem to be in very greedy builds, especially in the lane swap. But now, because it's a one-on-one, Steelback's able to afford that off of that advantage that he got. The CS, the 1 kill, and the 1 assist. Definitely bank him pretty much almost free Avarice Blade for him.
Yeah, I thought it would be weird if Nien went all the way to Infinity Edge. He actually bought full boots, which is still kind of weird, but definitely wanted the movement speed. Himself safe here against this team that can speed up.
Oh yeah, they're so fast.
Yeah,
you need all the help you can get.
You don't mess with Bobby.
Nien got hooked.
No depth charge to come in. That was just used in the bot lane. They're not going to be able to do much. Baby didn't exactly want that.
He wanted it. It just
not everybody else. No, he didn't.
Not yeah.
Yeah. He figured out he didn't want it once he had it.
Yeah, that'll be turned as well going down.
Right?
Yeah, and like I said before, Nien still had a lot of ways out of that. He still had Flash. He still had his Buster Shot. And instead of just having a knee-jerk reaction of, oh, let's get this Nautilus away from me with the Buster Shot, no, it's let's turn on him and kill this guy.
Yep.
So the presence of mind to be able to do that and pick up a kill for the Orianna in the mid lane. So Golden Glue, a little bit better time here. With the 0 off the table, I like seeing what mid laners default to after that. Whether it's the Victor or whether it's this type of composition that just seems to be favoring.
Gotta see more support bans, so everybody's forced to play Bennett. Then it'll be good.
One day, when top laners no longer
when we
Draw
go to
2-3
when we go to 5 bans apiece. That'll never be the day.
And then 1/10 of the champions are banned out.
That's right. See what people have in vision right now. It looks like that war is being fought on both fronts. Teammates been able to get a nice set of deep wards, but Imagine has the body wards, if you will, being in the right spot at the right time. They can only clear what's around them, then they have the upper hand. Here's one, Moon be able to get this.
Whoa! Damage.
Oh, there's the flash. Actually, probably would have been taken down by a command move, and then that shockwave dissonance. So he has to flash to get out of that. Not that he'll really need it to get into a fight, but you can see the respect they're giving teammate. Good push by ManCloud, pulling Golden Glue back to the mid lane. They're trying to get teammate to move to the beat of their drum. Imagine that is, but teammate, they always have something on their mind, something on their plate. Dragon's there's number 2 here, 16 minutes in, and Dodo's even able to sit solo on the other side of the wall. You know they have this set up for some time.
Yeah, and you heard Apollo on the desk talking about how Imagine in Game 1 was just rolling over because they didn't have Engage. Game 2,
right,
heavily prioritized it. Righteous Glory Rush on the Alistar, picking the Sivir, able to get into these fights.
They
now
did.
Imagine,
he sold his support item and went straight Righteous Glory, yeah.
Wanted it very early, high priority on it. But then Imagine this game, very speedy composition, but they just aren't able to find these fights on their own terms. They haven't been able to find the team fight. Oh, maybe this is it, going in for them.
That's the hit, no teleport from the top. It could be a good push for Trunky Fresh as well. TP for Cali Trolls is going to be there onto a minion, which is easily seen. If Baby doesn't have the shield, he may go down here to Hemoplague. He will stay alive. Summoner Heal comes in, and it is going to be the hit up coming in. Dodo almost taken down. ManCloud makes his way to the fight. Will it be a kill? Moon, one more hate spike, is able to take down Dodo. Porpoise towards the top, and that turret's already been taken down in by Trunky Fresh in the top lane. The triple kill for Moon in the end.
That was huge. The fact that ManCloud got there first before Golden Glue made a huge difference in that fight. The roaming power of this support. Golden Glue was clearing wolves. Right now, you see
the speed
wolves,
when he whimsies too.
and he just whimsies himself. Cleared the wave. Instead of farming, runs to the team fight. This would have been a 4-on-3 if he hadn't shown up, because there's no TP in the top lane. And he shows up and he helps them solidify these kills. The Glitter Lance gives them the confidence to go forward and finish this kill, because he would have started healing off of Moon and everybody else, and Moon would not have gotten these resets to keep going.
Right. Also, the call of the vision was a pink ward at Deathbrush, right near Dragon. That's when ManCloud was seen, and teammates still chose to take the entirety of that fight for the distance of River.
Well, it's because they knew they had TP over him.
This is
but
true.
It's just one of those things where when Golden Glue goes and farms Wraiths, and you start roaming down first, that's a one-team fight. Because if Golden Glue had not gone there and had gone towards the fight, or even if... Because that was a fight that they pretty much wanted to start. You saw everybody pushing up. Cali Trolls TP'd.
Oh, yeah.
It was on the side of Imagine's
They were
map.
prepared.
Golden Glue should have been in position to actually be there, because he had Shockwave up, he had his flash, he had shields to just save people from the resets of Moon, but now Moon gets his Morellonomicon 4-0-1, and now this Evelynn that was banned previously is showing lots of power in Moon's hands, just as a skirmish pick.
And the power's actually kind of been set up across each member. We've only been through 3 games for Imagine, but Steelback had a good game. Chunky Fresh as well came out good last time, even though he was pushed down, and now Moon. So you're getting kind of a different style of who's going to be going in. Moon now, we saw his first Krakus game not do much. The player that's really hard on himself has turned things around in 2 games. Now he's 4-0-1 on the Evelynn. Obviously with the help of his team, but definitely good to do against an LCS team in a long series. Be able to come out very early.
I'd like to see what he goes for. This is that 3rd item. Is it the Abyssal Scepter? Because you are against double AP.
Said he was going to build damage.
Yeah, it is double AP. Abyssal Scepter would be very effective against this team for the magic resistance. But goes for the Morellonomicon like he usually does. I'm actually just looking at gold here, and a lot of it is just Steelback over Nian. Steelback's about 900 up over Nian. Gold. And he's slowly but surely growing this lead. And he has the Avarice Blade that he's been sitting on for a while now. I'm going to check it. He's got 240 gold from it, so that's not even the thing that's giving him all this gold. It's the CS advantage, the push advantage, and the team fight that happened previously.
still have mid-turret to take down as well for a bit of surge in there, or of gold there as well. Looking back at what Imagine did during their season, were they a team that would excel once they chose these engaged compositions, or did they rely on what we kind of saw in Game 1 and whatnot?
They usually went for Corki and Sivir type compositions around Steelback, but it was all about Chunky Fresh on Hecarim or Scion to start the fights off. So now they're going with the Lulu composition with Chunky Fresh. He's still starting the fights off, but not with an AoE ultimate.
For sure.
Right? He's actually just running his body into the team to do that. So imagine when they did have engaged tools, they usually walked away with a victory. They 2-0'd Cloud9 Tempest with Hecarim 2 times.
It really does.
They played Hecarim and Scion exclusively against Renegades. And then before that, pretty much the last half of the split, you can actually count them here. The last 9 games, Chunky Fresh has played either Scion or Hecarim. And those are the compositions that they like to run, and they've seen a lot of success with. When they started turning around their season, it was because of that.
They just kind of molded into
they like the
that
fight
style.
They like the team fight.
Yeah, whatever they can get their hands on and get a fight. Well, we'll see what happens when they do start getting balled up in 5v5s, because there's a shockwave still to be had. Golden Glue, I feel like, has good placement with his ball, and he's an Ori player who will, more than not, kind of float it on the shoulder of the fight until you forget about it. It's not in a shield, and that's when you move for a shockwave. We almost saw Incarnation win that way with his Orianna in the most recent games.
Yeah,
a very effective way to play her.
The person I really remember doing that a lot in the NALCS was Xiaoing Xiao.
Yeah.
You just floated around, kite backwards, and then when the team thought they had already won the fight, and they walk into you, yeah, you basically play like they're beating you. You're like, oh no, stop hitting me, and I run away, stop chasing me. Oh, there you go.
And then you throw them all into each other. Why are you hitting yourself?
Stop hitting yourself. 15 seconds, though.
Whoa, there's always a fight here between both teams. Team 8 was able to win the last one last game in this position, even though Imagine came up with a win. And it looks like Imagine is actually just going to run house with this one. On to Nien, a few more hits. I don't think they'll have the chase after his rocket jump, but they have the positioning and the kill up. 2-1 in that one. Scattered on both sides.
Very scattered, and you were seeing Golden Glue was looking for an opportunity to shockwave. The one presented itself, then another one presented itself, and he's like, this is the one, but I'm already dead.
Yeah.
He didn't actually get to cast it, and there could have been a 4-man shockwave, but Dodo had already jumped out of the fight as well. So looking back on it, definitely a big victory there for Imagine. They just picked it. It's a ball composition, right? They like the team fight. Dragon's almost up. Everybody, Sivir Ultimate, get in here. 2 people, 2 big damage dealers. Nien and Golden show up late. But look at this. He's going to try a shockwave. Ball's on Dodo. It's all the way over there. It's a panic shockwave. Wasn't able to manipulate the ball appropriately during that fight, and it made a big difference. But also Steelback saying, I'm pushing the go button. Here we go. Into these 3 people. Just a big pile on them, 5v3, and then the damage dealers show up. So when the damage dealers are absent, it's a big problem.
Bit of that initiation comp that you're just talking about that they like to use.
They love to fight. They love to fight around dragons. And whenever there's a dragon that's live, they're immediately going to
For these guys, there would definitely be a heat map starting to create within that brush towards Death Brush and River. We've seen so many fights there. Just extend somewhat towards dragon and then stay in the mid lane. So far, it's been Imagine paying off there. They were able to get the mid turret as well within this last fight, and looks like they hold positioning. Team 8 definitely respecting what they're doing here, just clearing waves, setting up some wards.
Yeah, and if, like, back to your heat map point, it would be all around dragon and top lane.
Yeah.
Top lane early, and then fight around the dragon mid game.
The heat on Chunky Fresh is real. There's the Abyssal Scepter that'll be coming into the hands of Moon. Death's also working in their favor. Yeah, ManCloud has one, but it's Baby who's actually been the sacrificial one in these fights that are getting more kills on Team 8, so that's almost working out too.
Yeah, that's working out. When your support is the one that's dying, it's not a big deal.
As long as it's not too much.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Somebody's going to take you literally.
Even then sometimes.
Cyrene said it was okay that I died all the time.
Hey man, I'm all about sacrificing yourself for the team. If I'm 0-5, but I'm getting the right engages, right? I was playing against Freak the other day as a Blitzcrank. I would always hook him into my team. He would die, but we'd trade support for carry. And it was like, yeah, that's totally worth it.
Boom. Perfect.
Boom. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
It's like Freak dying for Jat's farm in the Brawlers game.
Yeah, man.
It's just worth, right?
It's worth it. It's a nice trade. But you don't have to make that trade all the time. Be smart about your trades.
Let's see what trades. These guys have 25 minutes in. Looks like they're going to be a little talk over this blue buff. Chunky Fresh inviting Cali Trolls for tea here. Looks like it's going to be going over to ManCloud. However, in the end, they do get him to leave the situation. Moon pushing some wards up as well. Can't really decide what he wants to do. ManCloud wants it, but he also wants to help kill Cali Trolls. A lot of things that Imagine can put on their plate right now. The waves are nicely pushed here, and I wonder if Baron is actually ever going to be a thing. The taunts and the baits were from Team 8 last time, and we haven't seen that type of playstyle from Imagine. They haven't kind of been, here's something we might do, Inkling. We're going to throw this into the mix. Yeah,
there's two things that Imagine can do. They can walk to the Baron, set up pink wards around it, set up the area, and then just Sivir ulti and run at the team. Yeah. Sivir ulti as soon as one person face checks, Sivir ulti if two people face check, look like they're doing it. I don't know if they'll actually just do it on a whim. I feel like this is a composition that wants to kill you and then get it, right? It's that kind of instrumental violence. They want to kill the team composition, not to just kill them. They're like, oh, we want this, we want the Baron afterwards.
We got them, let's base.
Yeah, exactly. You do see some things like that, but it'll be to get an objective afterwards.
Lost a bit of ground on those waves. Mid's getting pushed up nicely, and here finally goes a bit of that pressure towards Baron. Get these wards cleared up, and maybe they will have the ability to go after one of the objectives on a nice fight here. Olaf from the bot side, teleport up for Chunky Fresh. Moon's going to be coming in slow. We'll see Imagine kind of waiting for that to happen. It's the first time we've really seen Team 8 without an idea to do. They're definitely waiting for the engages. They know Imagine's going to hit. But that's what we said. They're the absorb team. Exactly. They're trying to take all of that. Yeah, but haven't been able to find it. Imagine hits them too quick.
Yeah, they pick the composition that wants to kite backwards. You can't really jump into the team with a Vladimir or an Orianna. You do have Orianna ball combo with Dodo.
Yeah,
so they can synergize there. But that's your one form of engage on this composition. That's your one form. You look at what Imagine have.
Telegraphed as well.
They have 5 forms. Everybody on this team has a way to engage, including Evelyn, right? Evelyn ultimate does slow people down in an AoE and allows people to get in there. So they kind of just combine all their powers and make a great engage comp, whereas Team 8, the one engage, you don't really get to pick your fights.
Hot damn.
And the thing is even if you do pick your fights with this comp, that's a long cooldown, and you're playing around an ultimate on an Orianna. So if you get a fight and then you don't win the fight immediately and the game that just is over and you get your objective, if the team tries to fight you again 30 seconds later, well, you don't have a response. You don't have a way to start it.
Yeah.
You have to wait for them. So playing around it, you have to kind of let it hit you and dissipate it and then retaliate.
Gonna take the first beating and then be ready to find a way back into the fight. It's going to be tough. Almost an item ahead is Steelback right now. 1,400 gold over Nian. Nian's also sitting on 1,200 at this point, so he would love to get another item in there. Definitely be a little more damage towards his last Whisper at this point. The Zeke's Herald, not too close to being finished either for Dodo. It would be a great spike for them to get. Almost seeing Golden Glue out of position. I'm wondering how much damage Moon's going to do at this point. We saw him hit Dodo once, and he went down to just about half HP. Already in the bottom lane, a fight between Cali Trolls and not. The flash out. Moon's going to fly back in on the Whimsy. He gets knocked out by Buster Shot. ManCloud flashes in for the Glitter Lance to follow through. Dodo flashes over the wall from Raptors to get himself in a spot where the team can reassess, start to absorb that fight. Chemo Plague only goes off onto Moon in a very scattered engage. Baby now feels like he can go in. Chunky Fresh with somewhat of a follow. A lot of, I think, I-cans from both teams, but an overall disengage in the end.
Yeah, you saw as soon as the engage tool was down, Moon's like, I gotta go. I gotta get these guys. There's nothing they can really do to stop me. And then Dodo didn't use a combo to actually start that off, but then you saw it there come in and save a lot of his team. Yeah. They do get a dragon here, first dragon of the game, or sorry, second dragon for Imagine here. So they pick up 2, but Chunky Fresh didn't use his TP to get in that fight either. So now he gets push pressure on the opposite side of Baron.
Things falling the way of Team Imagine right now. See, they got Dragon as well after that, which was nicely timed. We're able to push mid, get the Dragon, force Team 8 back. They already have vision onto Baron, so a bit of breathing room here as they need to get themselves back and forth after their purchases. Really coming into this game well and changing up their playstyle from game 1. It looked in game 1 like they were just simply outclassed on an LCS stage, not rotating around, waiting for things to happen from Team 8, and Team 8 was almost playing a consistent game from the end of the split, right? But they have changed it. Team Imagine knew they had to make some changes.
Team 8 barely fell down here. They lost that tiebreaker to Cloud9, and then Cloud9 just made that huge gauntlet run. The Team 8 you saw at the end of the season, they were still having some problems, and problems have carried over to the promotion tournament.
You have for this to be the first non-lane swap game as well seems to have favored Imagine quite a bit. Moon had a much better early jungle, not just from ganks, but not getting harassed by Porpoise as much.
Too.
Yeah, but adaptation was gigantic in that, along with the play from teammate not being as strong.
Finally got the Sight Stone coming in here for Moon so that they can continue to push their ward lines forward. It's always a tall task, but he does have a green ward trinket as well. So Moon is just a ward bot.
Yeah. Oh, and the Sight Stone.
Yeah.
That's the mistake I make just being a silver support. Like, I didn't buy my sweeper. He wants it though. Oh boy, no follow-up on the Hemo Plague. That would have been a great hit. This is teammate now, not being the absorbed team, but being the engaged team. How will it play out for them? Baby very low with the explosive shot on him. Almost takes down himself along with ManCloud. That's a kill onto Baby. Dodo and Calichos have fallen. Porpoise very low. The axe goes all the way through and strikes the abdomen of Porpoise, taking him down. A triple kill coming in for Chunky Fresh. And now more than one member is showing up in Game 3. Moon 505. Chunky Fresh 402, and it looks like they can stay here and kind of bait back and forth teammate, but I think they'd rather back and get themselves resourced up.
Yeah, get this little scuttle crab here. Make sure that you have vision on the Baron. You don't have the HP to do it just yet.
Right.
And going back to that fight, Golden Glue Shockwave only hit Baby. Everybody's kiting around, kiting around. Hemo Plague is used for the damage amplification in a team comp like this.
For sure.
Nobody's taking the extra damage. Nobody's doing damage to these guys. So it ends up being useless. And then Callie's too far forward, and he just gets collapsed on there from Chunky Fresh, having the TP up from the previous fight. Shockwave comes in, only hits one person, and it's the support.
Already,
and
who
the
is that?
Flash forward, triple kill. This Olaf is now 4-0-2, and he's got double magic resist items. He's working on his armor, but he's going to be an unstoppable force coming to these next fights.
See what you did.
Baby, though,
looks bad.
No flash.
No, just let him go.
Oh, wow, what?
Let
they
him go.
used the ultimate on him, too. This might be teammate.
Great catch by teammate. Great catch. Especially just coming back off the fountain to get something right away, right? Imagine's going to feel perfect after that
This is
fight.
a hard
They're
call.
going to want to come out firing.
This is a really hard call. Do you
Teammate's the
give
one
it to
do
them,
it.
or do you fight him at a disadvantage?
Calichos goes hard. This is where he sometimes got himself in trouble in the beginning. Zanias goes out. He's pretty big right now. Huge shots from the end to take down Moon. He's a big initiator as well, being in the all-damage Eve. So if these guys go down, the rest of the line is going to fall fast.
Baby getting caught just cost them that fight. They couldn't take it, and then Baron goes over, and when they're starting Baron, you either start the fight at a disadvantage 5v4 and risk losing the fight and Baron, or you just give up the Baron because you lost Baby in the first place. Big misposition there, threw away a gigantic lead, and now Team 8 are going to be able to equalize that with the Baron kill and the 2 pickups, and they're going to be able to get 2 turrets and an inhibitor for it. Just a huge swing off that one position there.
Literally pulling the trigger and almost reversing the way they're playing their composition. The first engaged by Calitrolls after being the absorbed team. Then they find a pick and say, you know what, let's just keep going. The last one almost worked, and it did.
Yeah, when you get a pick like that off of somebody placing a ward, as an absorbed team, what you're calling it here, when you're at an objective like Baron or Dragon and you're there first, you force the enemy team to come to you no matter what or cede the objective. Yeah. Right? It's hard to get in onto an objective as this team because if they're there first, you have to walk up to it. You don't walk up very quickly. You don't have really the tools to start the fight or engage. But if you're there first, you force them to use their engage tools to start a fight. So that was the ideal situation there for Team 8.
A lot of summoners down as well. A few of the engaged summoners as well as offensive summoners for Imagine. So that'll make the fight even easier here with just about every, just about every flash. Porpoise does not have it, but Repel for him will get him to safety. And now the bottom lane can be pushed with the map objective free of Baron and Dragon. Team 8 can now go ring around the rosy here and start to pressure Imagine on these outer turrets. Very unsafe to protect. Yeah, just have to let it go. And the scoreline of Imagine does not spell this to be happening right now. 402, 515. They're getting pushed into their base. Team 8 is using a great upswing right now.
And if Imagine end up losing this game, Baby's going to have a lot to shake off. He's more than half his team's deaths. He's 0-4, and his team had all the momentum. You look at their solo laners.
Work for an extent.
It's true. The solo laners have 1 death between them, and they're doing just so well. See how doing this fight though. Shockwave.
Huge Shockwave delivery on Dodo. We've been looking for that for a while, and now once they have Imagine pinched up, they're able to get the grouping they want. Able to get the targets they want. It's just low health right now. Not a lot of home guards either, so this is not Imagine coming back fast to defend the turret. They lose just under half HP, which that means is probably going to be a repeat hit. And luckily for them, it is not. Teammate has to back off with the low resources that they have here. Dragon could be theirs in that amount of time safely to back and come and do it again. Zeke's has been finished on Dodo, who just went down, so he'll be coming back up with a nice spike for Nian.
So it ends up being 2 kills for nothing there, and Imagine do damage control. They get Barons off, they wait out the Baron timer.
That's true.
Now they have waves pushing into the mid lane because of the super minions, and there's no objective to take anymore. You gave up the dragon, you give them 3rd dragon, that's fine. Teammate now have more ability to kite, move forward with movement speed, but at the end of the day, Imagine's going to have a little bit more gold income coming into them, and when everything goes back to equal, they once again still have the ability to start the fight on their own terms and rush you down.
Saw quite a few elixirs being potions being bought. Nian's still sitting on his. I believe Baby used an iron in that last fight, so everybody's trying to get those little extra stats, knowing the game's getting much tighter here. Teammate starting to take control after being very relaxed in the early part of the game, playing their composition nicely. 2 Zanyas as well. Cali Trolls, we saw kind of baited Chunky Fresh into the last fight with the pool into Zanyas, kind of mispositioned him, and those are really helping Teammate to figure out the beginning of these fights and get back into them. Looks like Zeke's just got linked up. They're going to be ready to go.
Looking for the mid lane fight here. TP on Chunky Fresh, trying to get Dodo in. Just searching. It's their one avenue in from Teammate's side. They're going to try to ride this wave in the middle. Inhibitor still has a little bit of time left on it.
Moon trying to play close and give the team a lot more knowledge. You can see how much their wards have been taken down. They're pretty much fighting blind right now. And they're even more blind as some of the wards get taken out as the team moves to the bottom side. This should be the turret. Zyrene possibly an inhibitor take as well. The teleport will be needed from Chunky Fresh. Looks like that's going to be a regular back from him. No, the teleport does come in. He's actually going to hit it towards the top side here. Looks like he could get himself into a pretty good spot. Yeah, Moon went down very fast in the fight, and not having any tank stats is not helping the team here as they get pushed back. That's Cali Trolls going down very fast. The ball does not go off the spot they want it. And it looks like it will be Chunky Fresh. The rest of the team backing off. Baby again with these dredge lines when the team does not want it, making himself go down, unfortunately. And fortunately for Teammate, they're very happy to be taking more of the base.
And they have 2 inhibitors down. This one in the middle will be up in about a minute. Hey. Good call. Or it could be very quick.
You see the little ring around the inhibitor?
A couple seconds. There you go. They stay for it. They already have a super minion there, too, so there's a lot to clear out. Nian will just take this very quickly.
All right. Good to go. Backing out, enough time to do so. Nian looking very big right now. And even with a few misplays in that one, Teammate still came out with the fight, having to push down objectives and turrets.
Yeah, Imagine they're in a very strange spot here, because when you build full damage Evelyn, you have this power curve that you have to respect because you're not tanky and you have to burst people. But you get burst down by this composition, and they're tanky enough to have enough durability to just sit there and take your damage. You see Cali Trolls runs up, and so much gets used on skill back to even try and keep him alive there. And ManCloud gets picked off immediately afterwards. And this composition from Teammate, talking about timing here, Vladimir's online, 100%. Orianna, and then you have the AD threat of Nian. This is a team that you give them this much time, and you end up giving up your lead. They have a large ability to actually win this game. You see Cali's 1 and 5. Look at this Moon once again caught out.
One after the other.
Down.
They are just shooting out the spell reels right now. Everybody getting what they need, where they need it. 1, 2, 3. What I'm trying to say is they didn't overlap anything. I couldn't find the words. It was just really nice.
It was awesome. Wow. Layering of the CC.
Layering.
He doesn't have
layering. That's the word.
I got play-by-play, Rip. Let's do this.
Oh my gosh. 14-13, 40 minutes in. The skills have been layered, and I think it's going to be Teammate layering on another win for this one. 66,000, looking at 67 as they start hitting the Nexus turrets. With Tristana there, with Nien battering down the explosive shot. They're not going to last for long. Imagine with control of the game for the majority of the early to mid game, but Teammate turning it on in the late game, able to come up with a win and go game point in this best-of-5 series. Team 8 take the win over Team Imagine.
And playing a composition that relies on them coming into you, they were still able to find the opportunities to take the fights over them, get the scale, get the picks. And oh man, I talked about it. Baby has a lot to shake off from this game.
Yeah.
Imagine they had this. They had this. They had Baron control. They had initiation priority. They had ways to start the fights and get in there. And then when you're going for those wards as a support and you don't have your team to back you up, they're 5 feet away from you, it's still not close enough. You have to wait. And that ward at the end of the day is not worth it.
Yeah. Looking at what some of the other players could have done on the team, had the 3 kills come in for Evelyn, could that kind of be switched halfway, or once you're into the damage build, you're going to stick damage build? Because then we saw it as well, Chunky Fresh kind of go off. So you're going to have 2 nice damage sources there, pretty big, but do you kind of convert one at some point?
Do you like stop taking the kills and give them over to other people?
Not
like
kills, but
or,
just in general, knowing that
Yeah.
you're getting destroyed that much. I know it's never really good to kind of divert your build because of the cost, the way you're doing things.
So
but in any case,
when you're snowballing as an Evelyn and you're building AP, you just want more AP and start
Right.
to continue to close the game out. If you start building tank and you let up, well, then you're
becomes
giving
harder.
you're giving up a little bit of
Yeah.
your lead there, but you are sticking to the durability, and that's something that Moon, as soon as they threw and had that part at the Baron, that's when you start making your build a little more tank centric, right? If you could like go back and be like 20/20 hindsight, this is the game's not going to go well from here.
Yeah.
They didn't know it wasn't not going to go well. They didn't know it was no longer going to go well for them.
Not to say this is on Moon, just reference point for
it's just
could
like
have this changed.
When that happens, you want to snowball, you build more damage.
Right.
When you're building defensively, you are building, of course, defensively, not offensively. You are waiting for people to come into you. You are on the back foot. So what he's doing is just trying to snowball, and it didn't end up ideal for him. There was that Baron, there was that pick that ended up, and then they took the team fight afterwards too, giving up 2 people and giving up the Baron and giving up even more after that. So that's where it really just fell apart. It's not so much builds or what other people could have done, because that team fight afterwards just really solidified it too.
Absolutely. All right, well, Dash and company are standing by at the analyst desk to break down that teammate victory.
Thank you, gentlemen. 2-1 in the series now. Before we get into too much of any, well, I want to get into
it. Yeah, you know what? Let's get
I want to get into the fact that we're seeing relatively sloppy play, and I don't think that there's any reason to tiptoe around the fact that mistakes are being made on either side, and that we're seeing relatively chaotic games here, where the gold leads are swinging. There are plays that are made. There are throws that happen, right? And I want to kind of figure out, in a best-of-5 series between these two teams, what are the adjustments they can make in such a short period of time to operate within the sloppiness and the chaoticness?
Well, I mean, I know firsthand, how to throw a game personally, but just knowing kind of like your weaknesses almost. Like for us, our team fighting was really bad. So we just thought like, okay, well, we don't want to, or if we're going to team fight, we need to get a really big lead in order for us to win this team fight. That kind of mentality. So just, I mean, I don't know exactly the weaknesses that they feel for Team 8 or Imagine, but just knowing your weaknesses and just playing around it more. Because right now, they're just doing whatever they want almost, like without even thinking in a small aspect. But yeah, just knowing your weaknesses and just kind of playing around it, I guess. It didn't seem it came down to picks and bans this time either. Just they played sloppy, and then one team kind of took the edge.
Yeah. But ultimately, we saw team fights go to both teams. Throughout this game specifically.
Yeah, and that's why I keep highlighting if it's going to boil down to team fights like this, pile on the reliable hard CC so you can make picks like that, game-changing picks. That thing is going to win you the game. If you get that late game pick and then you turn into a Baron, you can shove down, then you get a huge swing out of just something small like that. Also, they help you out a lot during those team fights. Things like Alistar, that where from the bottom lane, you're going to bring a support that's also a really massive tank that can provide a lot of zoning for the team. Alistar was swapped teams the last 2 games. Both teams that had him won because they were able to utilize him not only for picks and the hard CC, but also for soaking a lot of damage in the fights. So
Yeah, we definitely saw the effectiveness of the Vladimir and the Orianna having, you know, that, as you mentioned, that AoE damage that can come through when all of the abilities were landed.
Yeah.
You know, earlier in the game, we saw so many Orianna ults flashed or avoided in some way, shape, or form, and then a full 5 minutes would go by before the next attempted engage happened, and the flashes were all back up. Yeah. So it really seemed like Team 8 was struggling to find some of their initiations until later in the game when they were able to make a few picks.
Yeah, I mean, it came down to team fighting, as we saw, and then we saw IMG do well in team fights, and then we saw them do poorly in team fights, or like Team 8 did poorly in team fights. It just kind of just kept going back and forth with each other. But then they eventually got the pick that led into a Baron, and then from there it seemed like a lot more clean.
You're talking about that pick that led into a Baron. Let's take a look at the ensuing team fight. Following that, we're going 32 minutes into the game around the Baron pick. Kobe, help me out.
All right, yeah, so they previously, to start this out, they got the pick, you can see dead right there, and they've got the pink ward vision up as well. So True Sight, they can get Imagine to come to them in this team fight, and Callie on the Vladimir that you talked about, able to run the front line until there's the engage from Dodo. And this Alistar gets the combo, full combo on this damage Elise, and Yen, this time around, rocket jumps into a safe situation where he can land the damage, even get a bunch of crits on the way, so he gets to chain it. And they're able to snowball off that one pick. You know, getting the huge objective Baron, they get a bunch of kills after it because they have all the True Sight around and sort of bait them in, and then snowball the game.
Yeah, led to turret takes in the bot lane as well as a third dragon for the team. So once they're able to secure that advantage, particularly the Baron here for Team 8, they do seem to know how to use it.
Yeah,
it's about getting to that point. And the last thing I want to touch on is this Evelynn that came out. You mentioned earlier in the day that you knew Moon as an Evelynn player, and he does go for this unique Morellonomicon following the Runeglaive build. And again, it was rather effective in the early game. We saw how much damage can come out. Late game, though, being as squishy as he was, multiple times getting zeroed out by an Orianna ult and an Alistar initiation.
I mean, it's always, like, I don't know exactly why he does it. It's obviously a snowball build, you know, do maximum amount of damage.
How does
really
Rush
cheap.
do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Rush does these things.
Yeah, I don't know. Rush does anything he wants, doesn't matter. So, yeah, he obviously had effect. I mean, it worked, right? It worked, and then he snowballed, and then, like, random things happened, and then it stopped working, and then he built, I think what was interesting that we saw is that he built a sight stone and a warding trinket.
Yeah.
And I think maybe if he went for the Zonias, I don't know if he would have gotten in time, but if he went like a defensive item, then it would have been better. Or he went Abyssal, so maybe a Zonias instead of Abyssal. I don't know, but I think it was more so that their team made mistakes rather than like the item build faltering.
I mean, I kind of liked it, right? They had a Lulu as one of their solo laners, so bring a little bit more damage from your jungler in the early stages of the game. Build damage because early stages of the game, it's a lot more isolated fights, and you don't have to be in a team fight scenario. If you're in a team fight, then of course you want, you know, resistances and health, but if you're allowing the Evelynn to pick the skirmishes around, then she wants as much damage as possible. And
So more so playing around your vision and picking better engagements so that you don't end up getting zeroed out when you're on that squishy Evelynn.
Which is what they did, actually. I mean, they did that for the most part.
In their successful fights, absolutely. Yeah. So, well, anyway, 2-1 on the series now for Team 8. They're just one game away from locking up their spot in the North American LCS. We'll see if they can get her done in Game 4. Don't touch that browser.
It's really loud.
Curry, stop talking.
No. Just
Silence of the Lambs.
don't talk as hard.
Don't talk as hard?
Don't
yeah,
talk
nice,
as
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking as soft.
He may go down here to Hemoplague. He will stay alive. Summoner heal comes in, and it is going to be the hit up coming in. Dodo almost taken down.
Kill me, kill me, kill me. Watch out, oi, watch out. I'm ulting, oi. Watch out, oi, 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 oi. Kill, oi, kill, oi, kill, oi, oi, oi. Flat that, oi, flat. Chase. Nice, kill, chase.
I got it.
Nice.
That's a kill onto Baby. Dodo and Callie chose have fallen. Porpoise fairly low. The axe goes all the way through.
Let's kill the front line. I still have flash. Nice damage.
I was stun flash. Flashing. Go for
Okay, kill him all.
We can win.
Zipper flash.
Kill off.
I'm shooting Trust.
Okay, let's peel back to him.
Team 8 take the win over Team Imagine.